Good, fun to get out here and let them play. We've started Wednesday, so a week and a half ago. So we've been rolling, and so everything's kind of there's restraints and constraints on everything you do as far as your tempo of practice and thud and tracking and shorts or vests, whatever the situation is. You get 2 live scrimmages, in preseason. So really tried to treat it like a preseason game. That's just kind of what I was trying to create mentality-wise, headsets, and then ACC officials, everything, and just really try to call it as strict as we could call it. Today was a fun day as far as being able to go play, without, it's all right, we're 2nd and 8 and we're playing 3rd down, and creating situations and, thud in the box, tracking on the back, whatever it is. This is live, go play. And, it's a different world. When I was playing, every day was live. And, they had to tell you, hey, it's not live. Now you got to say it's live. So it's such a different world for these guys. And, so it's a challenge because you got to take advantage of your opportunities. And so we had a certain amount of plays we wanted to get and lots of different situations. It was mostly good on good. I think I mixed it up one time where we went 1s on 2s, but the rest was good on good the whole day. And, trying to hit all the different field zones from backed up, middle field, red zone, 1st and 9 on the 9, play it out, goal line, short yardage. We hit it all today. And only thing we didn't do was 2 minute. We'll get that yesterday, and then we'll get that next week live. But usually this scrimmage is usually a day that the defense kind of owns the day. That's kind of been probably in my history. That's probably the way it's been. But that wasn't the case today, and I honestly I kind of saw that coming. I told the defense, I'm really. It was very competitive. Defense did a lot of good things. They had a couple nice turnovers. Cooper had a pick. RJ had a pick. We did, throughout all 3 groups. We had a few sacks, but good on good. It was incredibly competitive, and very encouraged by what I see with our guys up front and offensive line. And I think all they hear and read is how bad they are, and and it's just the opposite on the other side. All they hear and read is how great they are, and I think you saw the result of that today. I definitely think the offensive line won the day in the trenches today, which is good to see. Good for both sides. Very competitive. I love how our backs ran the ball. All the backs had some big plays. Made some big plays in the passing game. Really pleased with DJ. He had one mistake. Cade had one critical mistake. We had some guys who make plays. Really, I think we had one drop the whole day. You guys make plays with each group, but just a very, you wish you were playing somebody else because it's a double-edged sword for me. If the punters, if you had great punt, but the punt return was excellent, well, that meant your punt coverage wasn't very good, right? So it's like, all right, it's a double-edged sword. You're happy, but then you're mad. So very competitive day. I'm really pleased with the effort. A lot on tape that we can teach from, and if we get better from it, 3 weeks from tomorrow, we're loading the bus to go to Atlanta. So we're not ready to play right now, but I do think we're heading in the right direction with a lot of positive things, and I feel really good about what I'm seeing in all areas. But this is a bunch that'll compete. It's a physical group, and we got to clean up some discipline things. We did have some penalties in the red zone. We had a couple of offsides. We had a big play on a 3rd down for a 1st down, and we got a guy that lined up on the line and covered up my tight end and get an ineligible downfield, call it back. We got a 4th and inches on the defense and goes for a 40-something yard touchdown because we didn't contain. So there's just a lot of discipline things that showed up today that we gotta clean up. The number one thing we talk about all the time is don't lose to Clemson, and we'll have a little list of those things and what that means today. So special teams wise, really pleased with BT. He's had a great camp. Robert has had a great camp, but I thought he that's why we come over here. It's just different, even though it's a lot of concrete looking at you. It's just a different vibe, and he finished well, but I thought he had his worst day, and he's been really good. He's a very, very talented kicker. But man, continue to be incredibly pleased and encouraged with our punters. Aiden has had about 4 days in a row really, really doing a nice job for us. Worked on all open field, worked on punting, off the goal line, backed up back at the goal line, and really pleased with our punters. Jack's starting to make a lot of progress. BT's been very steady there, so I think it's we're in a good spot. We've got 2 guys that can really bomb it, as far as kicking it out of the end zone, and BT and Gunn. So special teams wise, pretty good day. I thought our kick return and punt return was really good. Now again, disappointing thing with that is, I wasn't very pleased with our kick coverage and punt coverage. So, but it's good to get it all on tape and coach off of it and go from there.
You come at it.
Is there anything in particular you learned from your team today?
What's that?
Is there anything in particular you learned from your team today?
I think this is a tough group, man. I thought they would be a physically tough group, but until you really go play and you really turn it loose, the game's just different. I mean, it's all on your feet, thud type contact. It's physical, but it ain't like this. And we got a tough group. We got a tough group, both sides of the ball, and so I'm pleased with that. And, I think I got confirmation on that today.
Did you come out of the scrimmage pretty injury-free?
I think so. I'm not sure. Pat will give me a report on. I think I might have one guy maybe just go off, looked like he may have hurt his ankle, but I couldn't tell. But he jogged off, But I think other than that, I think I only saw one guy. So we'll see.
Dabo, how much experimenting is Thomas doing with the offensive line, like Walker playing some guard, things like that?
We're just trying to get the best 5. That's, as I told y'all earlier, we got to find out who's the best 5. Who's 6, who's 7, who's 8. What, kind of build it from there. But Walker, it's really not about Walker as it is, Blake Miller. Who's the 5th best guy? Is it Blake? We know Walker's in there. Is it Blake? Is it Tucker? And, Mitchell's been out. He'll hopefully be back Monday. He hadn't been able to practice most of the week in protocol, so he'll be back Monday, ready to go. But so is it Blake? Is it Mitchell? Is it Sadler? Is it who is it? Who's the 5th best guy? And depending on who that is it Dietrich? Who's the 5th best guy? We got flexibility, and if it means moving Walker to guard, if Blake's the 5th best guy and he's more comfortable at tackle right now, then that's what we do. So Walker's a natural man. I mean, he can play anywhere you want to play. He's a really, really good football player. And so, yeah, we've mixed it up as far as who the first 5 is. I think today he kept it fairly consistent, and but we got a good idea, as far as the guys that we think will be ready to play. I mean, I really feel good about our group. I mean, I think we're still trying. Who's that first 5? Because there's competition for that. I think that's great, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, I think we got 11 and a half guys that I would trust pretty good right now. And hopefully by the time we get to game day, we'll be, maybe 12 or 13. It's just it's a much more veteran group. This time we've got 2 true freshmen in Blake and Colin, and both of those guys are going to help us. I can tell y'all right now, they're both going to play. They're both going to help us. They've proven that. Been here since January. They're ready. And the rest of those guys, Tristan and Dietrich and Linthicum, you know, even though they're redshirt freshmen, I mean, they're going on year 2. They're just more mature. We're just in a better place with those guys to go along with that third-year sophomore group and those juniors and J-Mac. So just more functionality, more competition, more guys that are capable of competing, and that's making us better. So.
Same question in regards to your wide receiver group. Who was that with?
Yeah, really, the receivers have been really good. I mean, I'm super pleased with our group. You know, Bo's been out a few days. EJ's, you know, hopefully be back and running around Monday, ready to go. But so the encouraging thing is Bo and EJ have been out all week. Both of them off to a great start in camp, and both will be back, you know, soon. But it's allowed us to really challenge some other guys. And really pleased again with EJ how he came out of camp, and you know he had a little issue. He made a great catch and came down funny and kind of had a hematoba or whatever that thing's called. But he'll be fine. Same thing with Bo. Bo's doing well, but it's allowed us to get a lot of work to these other guys, and God has been awesome. I know how many times y'all heard me say that. He made a couple of big plays today, and he's just been a great leader for us. It's been really fun to see. So, you know, I'm just really happy for him, and hopefully he can stay the course. Spector's been awesome. You know, this time last year he couldn't walk up these steps, and he ain't missed a rep. I mean, he's been awesome. And the kid hadn't played in 2 years. He's just a really veteran guy. He's got a great mindset. Really pleased with him. And Dakari had a couple of nice plays. I mean, you know, Dakari started a lot of games last year along with Bo. So got all those guys back. Again, you know, get DJ and Bo back. Will Taylor, and Drew, and Antonio, Cole Turner. I mean, this kid is. He's got unbelievable long-term potential. I mean, he could help us this year. You know, I'm hoping we don't have to have him, but he's making it hard on us. Makes plays every day. Had two big plays today, and he gets yards after contact. He's strong. He's fast, but he touches it, and catches it, and he's just got a unique knack for finishing plays. So it's a really good group, and we're gonna get Adam Randall back soon. You know, I mean. So we gotta. I just love how it's coming together, and we're building a lot of confidence in a lot of areas. We just got more depth than we've had there in a long time, and we're heading in the right direction.
Troy Stellato.
Stellato's out. Stellato tore his ACL. You know, so he had a couple of good days, but you know, just like all these other injuries, you know, and it's unfortunately that's kind of been his story really since he's got here to this point. Is he's been injured, you know. He's not been a guy that's really been available very much from the day he got here. He's had a lot of deals, and you know, I thought he finished spring really well, showed some things, and then he had 2 good days in a row, taking advantage of his opportunity. So it's just another setback for him. But he's a redshirt freshman. It's frustrating, but you know, that's what I told him. I just tried to encourage him. I mean, look at Spector, he played 2 years, you know, and here he is. He's still got 4 years left, you know, because he redshirted, and if you redshirt and then you lose another season due to injury, you automatically get that year. So he's still got 4 years left starting next year. He's all in front of him. You know, we had a guy come speak to the team the other day, Inky Johnson. I don't know if y'all heard of him. And, you know, he's paralyzed from the arm down. You know, he's paralyzed on his whole right side. And, you know, we just talked about having good perspective, you know. I mean, they're not going to cut his leg off. He's going to come back. He's got some great examples on this team. It's frustrating because the timing stinks and he wants to play. But, you know, it's just, this is a part of his story. And again, you know, just planted and cut. I mean, that's just, you know, like I saw Will Taylor last year, you know, just nobody even touched him. And that's kind of how most of these things happen, unfortunately. But, so we'll attack his rehab and get him back, you know, this spring ready to go. And again, he's got his whole future in front of him and going to be a really good player. But, you know, fortunately, from a depth standpoint, it's a position we've got depth. And, you know, and we're really fortunate with that. But, you know, you hate to lose anybody. know, especially a kid that you really see making some progress, and he's been through a lot. But again, he's got to keep grinding and keep his perspective and his attitude right. Focus on the long term.
When did that happen?
Yesterday.
How about John Williams?
He's good. John's good. He had a little. I think he had like a little cyst that he had to get cleared up, but he's good.
When do you expect Bo back?
Soon. I mean, he's doing really good. We're being cautious with him. You know, he just kind of fell on his shoulder and had a pretty good bruise there. So, you know, just not getting any contact, but his range of motion is great. He's doing well. So we'll probably hold him, you know, through next week, and then hopefully, you know, get him back going as we get into those last couple of weeks.
As a head coach, you want to see all three phases do well. But after last season's struggles, DJ and the offense, does it tickle you a little bit to see him come out and kind of win the day out here?
Heck yeah! I mean, shoot, we were a mess, and you know, it's just to see the confidence and guys making plays, and just, you know, seeing the knowledge being, you know, applied. You know, they're taking it from meeting rooms and they're applying it, but just the chemistry. You know, again, those first 7-8 offensive linemen, you know, have a lot of good chemistry. You know, and we've got some flexibility. And then those backs, our tight ends, you know, the receivers are making plays, and all of that. What does all of that do? Everything around the quarterback. What does that do? Does that make the quarterback better or worse?
Better.
Exactly. When all that ain't good, does it make the quarterback better or worse? Worse. Exactly. This ain't rocket science. And it affects their confidence and all those things. And then, you know, quarterbacks start trying to do too much, and then it's because the quarterbacks get all the blame. They get all the credit too. But it's fun to see our quarterbacks, you know, starting to just have a little calmness to them, because we're just better around them. You know, we're better around them. We're playing physical, and it's good to see, man. You know, we got 3 special backs. Dudes are really good football players, but they'll be the first ones to tell you it all starts with those guys up front. And proud of DJ's he made 2 or 3 big plays with his legs today. Same thing with Cade. I think Cade ended up with 2 touchdowns, you know, in the goal line red zone area. So good to see the quarterbacks making plays with their legs. You know, both running it and extending plays.
Is EJ still limited right now?
Yeah, he's limited. He'll be back soon. Hopefully Monday he's running routes and stuff and getting ready to get back in there. But it was just kind of a weird deal. And then, you know, he goes out to the lake and decides he wants to jump on a tube. So it probably didn't help the speediness of the recovery. He's like, I thought I was just laying down. Y'all ever tube? Hang on for your life, right? He'll be all right.
Will Taylor's a similar to Renfro, former quarterback, converted wide receiver. How would you compare his acclimation to the position at the similar point in Renfro's career?
Yeah. The difference is Renfro spent that whole redshirt year working on the craft. Yeah. Will didn't. Will played. You know, that 4th game we were just starting to kind of, you know, transition him. You know, switch meeting rooms and all that, and you know, 2 plays in or whatever, he's out. So that's the difference. And you see that, you know. So he looks like a freshman out there. He's so natural as far as just he's explosive, he's fast, and he's strong, he's compact, he's a really good finisher on the ball. All that stuff's natural. But the route running, the influence, the break points, you know, the nuances of the position, he's like a true freshman out there because he hasn't done it. Playing with your hands, you know, he's just never done it. And he gets better, but he just gets better every day because he's such a worker and such a grinder. And then Antonio is just, you know, he's not as strong as Will, but he's just more natural because he's just what he's always done, you know. But they're gonna both end up in the same spot when it's all said and done. I mean, Will's just gonna keep getting better and better and better. He's just what we thought he'd be. And again, the difference is wish we'd have had him last year to work through some of these things that we're working through right now.
With Antonio coming into the summer, how is he doing as far as picking up the offense and being ready to go out and play?
He's doing good. You know, we're at that point now where we're trying to get him to learn, you know, 2 spots. And I think he feels good about, you know, a 5-man and where he is there, but we need him to go to 2 as well. You know, you got to be able to be interchangeable right there. So he's coming. He's picking it up. We had a nice play today. He's doing a good job. You know, Drew's had a heck of a camp. He's savvy. He's done a really good job. You know, so Hampton Earl's another kid that nobody really talks about. He's a very savvy dude that really knows how to play and can help us as well. So we've just got a lot of guys. Hamp Green, other areas right there. He's a really functional player. So it's a position of strength for us.
How'd your tight ends look today?
Excellent. Tight ends were excellent. You know, outside of we had a penalty in the red zone, a holding call, and then we had you know, we got it, but we had a third and 6, and a might have been 3rd and 5, and we come up 6 inches short, you know, on the catch, and you know that's situational awareness. Don't put me in that situation. You know, we went for it, and it was a 40-yard touchdown run. So, but we got to get the first down on the catch. So just some situational things, but man, they made plays. Rennie had an excellent day. I thought he had 3 or 4 catches. Davis a couple catches. Sage may have had 1. Luke may have had 1. Sapp had a nice play. I tell you, a little Sapp. So really glad we got him. He's a little ball player now. He's tough. He's natural. He's a really good athlete. He just comes easy for him. He's a thick kid, you know. He ain't afraid. He's played linebacker. He's played DN. He's played quarterback. He's played running back. I mean, he's a basketball player. He's just a really smooth athlete. So I'm really, really excited about him. And again, he made a nice play today. So, you know, as a group, it's a good group.
Moving Trenton into the inside linebacker, what did you see today with him at that position? Did it work out? Did you transition like you wanted him to?
Well, I mean, he's doing great. We'll see what all he did today as far as just doing his job. Sometimes you do your job well, but you may not have made a bunch of plays because you know, just the nature of the call or whatever. But, you know, we'll grade this tonight and this afternoon, and we'll spend a lot of time talking about personnel tomorrow and kind of where we are, and then, you know, moving forward through Wednesday. And then really kind of clean everything up on Thursday. You know, we're going to give them 2 days, Friday and Saturday, to rest and recover. You know, at that point, you've been going 2.5 weeks, and just give them 2 days rest, come back on Sunday, and then break camp that Wednesday after that. So you know, we'll see. We'll grade him. But he's been awesome. No problem.
Any positions on the defense, any position groups in particular where you feel like you still need to make a jump into the season?
I mean, not really. I mean, they all got work to do. I mean, I'm not really sitting here going, oh man, we got a long way to go at this position or this position. I mean, I think we got really good players in every position. We just got to be disciplined. You know, we've got to be detailed in what we do, and we got to be dependable. You know, down in and down out, and really good situational, you know, awareness. You know, that's really it. Just continue to bring guys along. I mean, I think we've got good players and good depth. I mean, the young guys is probably the biggest area I want to see. You know, Koval and Toriano and J. Lou. You know, those guys kind of keep coming and just become more and more dependable. But we got good leadership. It's a good group.
What's your take on Malcolm Green, just sort of where he is right now?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, he's playing corner and playing nickel for us. You know, got a lot of confidence in Malcolm. Made a couple plays today. You know, same thing. Really good leader. You know, very functional football player. Could probably play safety for us as well if we needed it.
Watching Xavier yesterday, he looks amazing physically. What kind of a week has he had?
He's had a great camp. He really has. I mean, he's as focused as he's ever been. I've never ever seen him run like I've seen him run. I mean, he's really, really fast and just playing within the scheme. And, the probably thing I'm most proud of with him is just he's really developed into a good leader. He's a good leader, and I'm proud of him. I mean, Xavier Thomas he's what coaching is all about. I'm just really proud of him and who he is, how he's developed and matured as a man, and just his conscientiousness on all the little things.
Dabo, with Cole and Antonio, do you have that same level of maybe trust in them that you did with Will, that you could have that confidence in them to return punts against Georgia Tech?
Right now, no. So I mean, we got a long way to go, but we'll see. I think they're very natural. We'll certainly play Dave. Be Willie T for sure. A lot of confidence in him, but he's on his way to having a great year for us last year. But I do think Antonio and Cole will be good return guys as they go. But I'm sure you'll see them at some point this year. As of today, I would not run them out there.
Yeah, but it's on the left side of the line, it's J-Mac and Marcus that tackling guard. Does that feel set, or is there some up in the air for that?
I think, we've actually, we've flipped them. We've cross-trained them. Marcus has worked left tackle because, we got him again. What if J-Mac, got an ingrown toenail and couldn't walk? Who's the next best tackle? Is it Marcus and moving a guard in there? So we tried to just, it's a lot like the NFL, when you got dress 7 or 8, you gotta have some flexibility. When you're in our situation, you just want to get who's the best 5, who's the next best 5, or the next who's 7, 8, whatever. So sometimes it means the guy has to move. So we've cross-trained J-Mac and Marcus on both sides, but Marcus is doing a race. He's just night and day from where he was this time last year. I mean, night and day. So much. His body's different. He's stronger, and he's just so much more confident and sure of himself. And as a result, you play more physical. You play faster. Your endurance is a little bit better because you're not hyperventilating every play. And so it's been good. They've done a nice job. Putnam's been excellent. Putnam has been really good. That's probably been my thing I'm most pleased with is our snaps during camp. It's been really, really good. Really good.
Do you have any false starts today that you recall?
We had a couple. Yeah, we had a couple.
Cade getting back in the stadium playing live, just how far have you seen him come since this spring?
Cade?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he just kind of picked up where he left off. I mean, he just moments never too big for him. I mean, he's just a very natural kid. He's very eager. He's got a lot of energy, and I thought he did a good job. Had one really bad play, but he's just a bigger, stronger version of what we saw in the spring. Smarter.
As you said, he had purple jerseys in your room during the spring scrimmage, so do you feel like he's getting the ball?
Yeah, he had a couple of those today too. He had a couple where it was a sack and we needed to get rid of it. Sometimes they kind of get in a bad habit out here, but we can't afford to hit the quarterbacks. So it is what it is. Got to kind of coach him out of that, and you play yourself out of it. But he'll learn. And he's really fast, and so he's got a lot of confidence in his ability to run. And he's learning that we got other fast people too that can also run. And I think he got away with a lot in high school because not many guys can run with him. But we got some dudes on that other side of the ball that they run a little bit too.
Saw you working on rugby punts yesterday.
Yeah.
Could that be a clincher with these 3 guys?
It's just a part of our inventory. We got a lot of types of kicks that we have to work on, kickoffs, different types of kickoffs, lots of different types of punts, and you just never know what your situation is. Weather, wind, maybe there's some elite returner, whatever it is, and so you just if you just have a fastball, usually they hit it. We kind of want to be Greg Maddux, right? You want to have all the pitches, So kind of hard to have all the pitches we don't work on it. So we work on it. A little different too with a lefty. First time we've really had to kind of coach that up. We did it a couple times last year, but so just something we got to have in our toolbox. Just depending on how people play. We're a shield punt team, and so how people play that changes from week to week. So sometimes you just gotta make sure you've got a different way to get the ball off based on maybe game plan or how they stress your protection.
Any cornerbacks who caught your eye today?
Not really. I saw Jay Lou make a nice PBU, but we had 2 or 3 PIs today. But we'll see the tape. We'll see what all was on there.
Have you done any opponent-specific stuff yet?
We've done all of our first 3 or 4 opponents from spring, early summer, just our normal preseason scout report stuff that we always do. So yeah, we've done a lot of preseason study on what we think and just gathering information and spring games and all that type of stuff. And going back to last year, we're going to play a lot of different coaches this year. There's a lot of different coordinators that's on our schedule. So some of it just doesn't help you. That's what makes the opener hard. Georgia Tech's got different people, different players, transfers, all kind of different things. So it's, as y'all heard me say, the opener to me is always the hardest game because you got more time to prepare than any other game that you ever have, and there's so many unknowns. You just don't. You think Usually, when you play 2 or 3 games, you start to at least have an identity. You know a little bit more about their personnel. You have a much better feel for who they are schematically. Not that you don't have game plan stuff from week to week, but just a little bit of a personality. When you've had all spring and all summer, and you don't know a lot about their personnel, especially when there's a lot of influx of new people and coaches, it just creates extra stress because there's just, especially in the early part of the game, there's a lot of feeling out going on. Like, okay, you think you kind of have an idea of who they are, but you don't really know. And we had that happen last year. We were playing, but they played everything we didn't prepare for, and we had a hard time with it. But just making adjustments.
I don't know if you saw any of it last night, but pretty neat to have 2 of your quarterbacks share the field in an NFL game.
I did not. We were out here, so we had a late walkthrough last night, so I did not get to see it, unfortunately. Hopefully they got a picture. I don't know if they got a picture. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe they did. But yeah, pretty cool. 2 national championship quarterbacks get a chance to play against each other.
Take 1 or 2 more if anybody has any.
The Peyton Page with the weight loss, how do you think he might mix in reserve this year on that line?
He's going to be a great one. He can play. He looks great. He's moving great. He's playing with a high motor. He's just got a lot more energy to him, and he's again, that's a position of depth for us. So hopefully we can play fast and physical and wear people down. And he'll be a part of that for sure. K-Part had 2 sacks today. It was good to see. Good to see him. Denhoff's another guy, don't really ever get asked about, but redshirt freshman. Really like what I'm seeing from Denhoff. Greg Williams had a nice play today. Swint. We got a lot of guys outside of just the ones everybody talks about that I think will make a difference for us this year.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys.